It is with no small amount of fear in my heart that I have to tell you that this horse racing stuff has gone off the tracks. This is a race that didn't even have tracks before, and somehow it found a way to just, like, no-clip out of them. Hey fellas, and welcome back to With a Y, and I barely even know where to start. Like, I considered making this 2 videos, but then I realized that the 2 different topics I was going to talk about, like, kind of intersect in a way that you can't really tell the full story without mentioning them at once. Also, while this channel is still named Quite and not With a Y, I'm just gonna plug that my YouTube is out for a limited time only, 4 weeks only. It's just below the fold in the description because what I'm talking about in today's video is the most important aspect. I guess the first thing to know is that our boy Jovial Marryman, the orange horse, is still out here just cleaning house. The only horse to win a 3-peat Jovial fucking Marryman. Like, I barely want to commentate it, man. He's like just so disrespectful and disgusting. Look at him doing this horizontal back and forth shit just because he knows everybody else is stuck and isn't gonna get past him. And as soon as one of them showed gumption, he's like, alright, I'm done playing games. And then he goes for the goddamn carrots. Like, he still got it to the point where they're saying that he's not in the race where they swapped out the carrots for apples, because the orange horse just doesn't care for apples. He thinks they insist upon themselves. Meet the GOAT. They call him 007. No performance-enhancing drugs, no close competitors, given the worst starting position multiple times and still winning. There's no way Jovial wins again. Like, it can't be put down to random chance anymore. Out of any competitive sport, this might be the single most dominant athlete we've ever witnessed. My mother asked me if the dishes were done. I nodded and uttered, resolute mind afternoon. You can see in this post a little bit of cope for those who aren't a fan of Jovial, who root for the underdogs, under horses as it were. Lend me some Yuri, Cyan. This is base Jovial we're up against. If you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, what you need to know is that Cyan is like at the back of the pack, and it's almost sad. Horse Injuries set up a race where Cyan was noticeably absent. And what happens here? Resolute and Mary were squaring off for a little bit, but I think we know how this is gonna end. Dude, look at the pathing on that. That was disgusting. The way they got back in the crack. Oh my god. Jovial wins to no one's surprise. And this is usually where the race ends, but there's an after credit scene. This is what happened to Cyan. They were given a completely open plane where they were competing against nobody so they could have some carrots of their own. This is how they feed Cyan because they are not bringing the bread home on their own. I don't know how to explain this, man. It gets stuck in the starting area immediately. It's a straight line. It's a straight line. There are no weird diagonals to look for, and this guy just cannot get these carrots in any universe. Like, look at this. He grazes by it like a bullet to my face. This goes on for another minute, man. Being a Cyan fan is just straight up torture. The thing is, though, in a lot of sports, some of the most popular figures aren't always those who are at the absolute top of their class. There's a lot of people who have, like, strong personalities or kind of like spokesmen for the thing that they're an athlete in. And you know, there's definitely something to that. They're making potential memes about this. They have the potential to rival Mary. His real name will go crazy. They're one of the last horses that hasn't been given a name other than their color, which is a shame. She'll win a real race eventually because she's only winning the setup ones where she's not fighting anybody. But this is the part that people have been getting invested in. Mary may have a winning streak, but Cyan has bitches. This is original artwork by Mango Lord, who turned the horses into Yuri. I think they said it's Yowie and Yuri at the same time, so whichever is your preference, you can go for that. And you know, the absolutely Northern Lion Twitter account replied for the first time, and I think ever, something positive to a tweet that was horse race related. The cope at the time was that maybe Jovial Marryman is absolutely dominant in this sport, but they've committed their life to that, and their personal lives remain unfulfilled because they have put everything they have into a sport, only to get absolutely negged when orange was found just laying pipe down on yellow. They had on their ice while they were plowing, man. That dude still has the medals on when they're cuddling in bed. This is like dastardly behavior. Look at this shit, man. What are they? Jovial Marryman is the current A-plot, and this is the type of shit they're doing. The horse race thing has expanded to a lot of other genres, and there is a little something here for everybody, so I can see the mass appeal becoming bigger than ever sooner than later. But if you scroll down to what's going under the bed, down here is where Cyan has been stuck. People started to take notice that not only Cyan, but also the white horse were missing, which led to this incredible visual. What if Cyan was locked in the time chamber for millennia and betrayed? Which I personally think would be worthy of a full 4-hour video. The thing to remember is that some of the horses are genuinely missing, and if you remember the original white versus Cyan face-off, when they were both kind of equally in the dumps and ended up dating as a result, what you're looking at here is not the main course of this video. The track at the beginning is white versus Cyan's. They're searching for them. These horses are not competing against each other. They are in a search party looking for their friends, because as much as like Jovial Marryman is a dominant force, these are all a bunch of people who were brought together for their shared love of the sport they compete in, man. Everybody is fucking around here like just hopelessly trying to find their lost friends, and then suddenly we, the audience, are put into a spot we haven't seen before. This is a map so crusty and weirdly angled, it's just putting the competitors, who are also oddly shaped, into circumstances we've just never had to consider before because the maps were never made like this. Now, these horses aren't named until a little later. One of these horses does clinch the win, and I would commentate over this if I knew their names, but something very sinister happens when one of them wins. It's almost like they are aberrant to the world we've so far been engaging with. No name, just something. A creature, something alive. I don't know what else I can say about it. I just know I've never seen any horse that looks like this. Again, we have this same group of B-side horses running a race, and their forms are maybe not unnatural, but unlike anything I've ever seen before. But we finally get our first name when this horse over here wins the bid. And Metal Mario boss music to introduce it. Nighttime Knifemare, man. It probably could stab me with any of these number of appendages it's got attached to its... I don't even know if I can call that its head, man. Like, what's going on? It's, at least unlike the last guy, this dude has feet I can clearly see it uses to gallop, but they are non-standard in shape. Wild horses running through your hollow bones. White and Cyan have to take comfort in each other, because the only comfort that exists in the sunken place they're in is in each other. Now, after Nighttime Nightmare won the first round in this video, we go to another 1v1 face-off where we see a familiar face. This one got off the rails very quickly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the speeds that White ended up picking up as it, like, bounced between all these almost pinball machine-like obstacles. Velocities the race rarely goes on long enough to reach. They're getting better at navigating their way through these rocks, but it's still a rough go of it all. Sorry, I've been calling superstitional realism White the whole time. I forgot they actually managed to get their full name. Dude, it's been a week and I'm already out of the loop. I left town for like a weekend trip to New York, and now I don't know what's happening anymore, bro. I was supposed to be the guy who is tapped in, but I'm failing. Hell nah, Cyan took 40 Benadryls. Now they in the sunken place. Some people have speculated about the imagery of the race that superstitional realism faced against its doppelganger. It notably takes the shape of a womb, which implies that something is coming. Life is about to be given birth. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is hard to say. Now, Soup and Cyan are in a very committed relationship to each other, and this is superstition desperately fighting to get out of the sunken place so they can be with their love. Shit is getting rough out here, man. I don't know how else to say it. I hope I don't have to fight my evil shadow self today. Hey, no fucking way! There's the spare joke about how this is the conclave that will be gathering to elect the next pope. There's also the feeling that Mary not being in recent races isn't a coincidence. Like, these are the three regulars who are out of the normal play at the moment. This is how Lumpy phrased it. Well, these guys were chasing after an apple, which just really isn't to Mary's taste if you're anything of a real fan. Cyan, superstitional realism. Don't worry. I'm on my way. The rescue arc begins! I could go beat by beat to try and figure out what the fuck is happening, man, but there is just so much lore to catch up on. This is how it must feel like getting into One Piece now. The series seems like it's taking a further dip into the surreal, and let's say the safe veneer of the story up till this point is getting peeled back and we're finding out what horse racing actually entails.
I've been going through something. Be afraid.
Fuck it, dude. It is vicious what they are doing in this fandom. I can't believe it's evolved this strongly, and I can only hope it keeps going. Apologies if this video was a little all over the place. There was a lot to catch up on, and I've been away myself, so I'm trying to synthesize this together. For anybody who just doesn't want to ever make a Twitter account for any reason, I get it. I'm trying to put together something a little more coherent timeline-wise for y'all the next time we revisit this. All I can say is that Mary does stay winning, but there is something deeper going on here. Just a reminder, my YouTube is available for a limited time. That kwytebox email is in the description as well if you want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.